the bye week, coming off a bye week, like for a game like this, it's a rivalry game on the road. You as a player, you just played. It's a weird schedule. I don't know if you ever had this kind of scenario, but just putting yourself in their shoes. A game against Florida, which was an extremely, physical, emotional. It was a primetime game, right? You had the A1 team in the booth. It was a big spotlight game. A lot of emotional energy, a lot of physical exertion. Then the bye, and then you go play a team like Florida State, which is a whole totally different offense. Not the cookie cutter offense. It's kind of takes some extra prep. Obviously, you're an offensive player, but it's a different offense that the defense has to prepare for. Do you think it's better to set up this way, where you get that bye after that emotional Florida game, getting into another emotional rivalry game, or do you think this is something they got to overcome?
We'll overcome it, because I do think the way Mario is like kind of heading this thing, like I think, everyone says like, oh, 1-0 every week, 1-0, but it truly feels like the team, like every week, like they're actually preparing for that team. Rivalry game, bye week, which in this case, I think because we had those 4 like physical type of matchups, or 3, I should say, don't really include Bethune. I think it was a good time for our guys to like get that rest and kind of recover and refresh and recharge the battery, so they can come out again and, homer it down. And then also we have a bye week after. So I do think the mentality is like, get rest, go kill, then we get another rest again before we go into like this run on ACC games.
Yeah, I will obviously, like most people, wasn't a fan of the bye structure, but now I kind of like it.
Yeah, no, I like it, man. Me personally, I'm not mad at it. I do think we play Louisville after the bye. That's the first game after the last bye week.
Yep.
I do think, honestly, at first I didn't like the way the schedule set up with the bye weeks, but then just looking back now, like the type of physical teams we had to play, it makes sense to have it now. Get that out the way, and then you kind of go on a run where you're playing ACC opponents. I'm not saying Louisville isn't physical, but they're not Notre Dame up front. I don't think it's those type of matchups. I'm trying to say, like, I think we can play our brand of football without getting to like one of those physical, like hard nosed type of battles, or trench battles, I should say. I think we have the trenches from here on out throughout ACC play for sure.
Yeah, that was the game last year where like Damian Martinez ran through the whole team. Remember that run that he had? Like that was not definitely wasn't Notre Dame out there when he was dragging 6 guys into the end zone last year against Louisville. Different kind of game. Looking at Florida State's defensive backs, we talked about it a little bit. Last year they had that guy Azariah Thomas, who I thought was a really talented player. Plays for the Jets. We saw him yesterday. They've had some good DBs over the last few years, but I'm not sure this crew, at least from the hype around them, is on that level. What do you see when you see these FSU DBs and the 2 games they played?
Honestly, I'm gonna be real. They're not bad. Like, I think they're actually pretty solid. Like, they're actually pretty good. I think number 11, I don't remember. Rawls. I think he's a good corner.
Rawls,
physical. Sure. Yeah, he gets his head around. He always has his eyes on the quarterback, it seems. Number 3 is pretty solid as well. I think he's pretty good in the run game as well. Who else? I think Earl Little brings like a physicality, at least in the run game for sure. I think he's kind of taking that like step as being like they're like striker almost, in a way. Like he's coming down, like he's like their thumper, like he's trying to be like that identity type player for them. So I think we match up pretty well against them. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna sit here and say they're trash or anything like that. I don't think they're trash, which pains me to say.
You're disappointing D. He was ready for it. He was trying to
I hate to say it, but I think they're pretty good. I think they have good abilities. I'll say that. I think they have good abilities, at least on a collegiate level. But I do think we just match up very well against them. Like, we got bigger body receivers. I think Keelan Marion, like, he's not your small Z. Like, he's not like skinny or anything. I think he could be physical. Then you just got Malachi Tony in the slot. I just don't think anyone can guard him, and he's physical in the run game. So when I see it, I think we match up well for what they do well, just being physical in their corners, in their cornerback room and things of that nature. I'm talking about at least when the ball's in the air. Like, they're like, I think they play the ball pretty well in the air. So, but I think we do a really good job of, making contested catches, running good routes. So it's going to be a good matchup, man. But overall, they're gonna have to stop that run game, and that's kind of where I chuckle, because like I just don't think they can stop the run. So
now I will say they have been running all over teams on the other side of the ball, like offensively. I know we're talking about their defense, but you could say this is, which you would have easily said Notre Dame before the season, but now seeing what it is in terms of Miami's run defense, it's been great, but this is the biggest test so far, and it's more so because of the function of the way the offense operates. No,
say that one more time.
Like with the misdirection and like, it's not because they are over physical. They're being more physical than a lot of teams, right? It's the way that the offense runs with Malzahn, and it's, there's a lot of tricky stuff to deal with.
They're not like running straight at you. Like, it's a lot of like counter read options, quarterback trap. Then you got the wildcat they throw in there. So it's definitely tricky. It reminds me of, I think, of like a Georgia Tech-ish type of style, where it's like a lot of misdirection, get your linebackers flowing the wrong way, get a guy out of his gap, like that type of stuff is where they capitalize. So I think that's where Heatherman even touched on it, just being like, it's going to be very like assignment football on Saturday, because that's what they do. And if you get out of your position, 70 yards, just that quick, one play, 70-yard run by the running back up the middle because the DN got out of his gap, or Castellano picks up 30 yards because a guy crashed on a running back and he pulled it, right? So that type of stuff is where I think they're successful. But I don't think they line up and just physically move you out the way like we do up front. Like, we line up and quite literally, like, we're running right in the A gap, and it's like it's 3rd and 3. Everyone in the world knows we're going right up the middle, and we push for 15 yards. So that's the difference. So yeah, you're right. They try to out scheme you or like out trick you. People say gimmick offense. So I say it's something along the lines of that, but the gimmick ends though when you have too much film on you. I think that's a good part about it, is that when you do it over and over again, when you're running a reverse 3 times against a high school team and you're running all these plays against Virginia, like, all that is extra film that you're giving to the next week's opponent to scout and prepare for all the different things you can do off all of the different looks they present.
Question from New King God saying, a lot of media, FSU media and fans think the loss to Virginia will help FSU focus and get their edge back that they had against Bama. Thoughts on that? I kind of agree that if you're not watching on video, Amon just put a thumbs down there.
Come on, man.
My thoughts, Amon, and I'll throw it to you real quick, is like, there's a lot of dudes on this team from last year that were a part of 2-10. And like, if things, and we talked about this with Florida, and to Florida's credit, they didn't lay down when Miami got up early, right? But if Miami goes up a couple scores early, a lot of these guys maybe start having these thoughts of, here we go again, the season down the drain again, lost to Virginia, about to lose, a second AC game in a row. And I think, could there be that psychological part of it too?
Yeah, man. Listen, I don't believe in that shit that people say, like, oh, they're gonna magically just be ready. First off, like, this is like a historic rivalry game. Let's just start there. Like, if you're not ready for this game already, then something wrong with you anyway, right? You don't deserve to even win. So they're gonna be ready. But saying that because they lost, like, they're gonna have more fuel to the fire. Like, what about the counter argument? What about them losing and the team losing faith in the scheme? What about that? What about them getting their shit pushed in by 46 points against Virginia, and them kind of doubting the defensive coach and his scheme and his types of like play calling? Like, what about that part of things? Like, this team just went 2-10. You don't think like they've been riding that wave and now they're kind of reset to reality? Like, hold on, we may not be as good as we thought. Like, that, those are thoughts as well that guys have. So, and as a guy that freshman year, we're undefeated. We lost to Florida State at home, and we went on like a 4-game losing streak because we couldn't get over it.
Yeah, that was. By the way, I'm getting off track, but that was, to me, the most underrated Miami team. By the time you played West Virginia in the bowl game, you scored that long touchdown. I thought you guys were better than 17. You aren't both, so you probably have a better opinion than me. But just watching it, man, that 16 team by the end of the year, you guys, I thought were pretty complete.
Man, I'm trying to tell you, if that block punt or that block field goal don't happen, I can almost guarantee you we go undefeated. Like, we had a lot of talent on both sides of the thing. We had a quarterback, Brad, like leading the charge, like David Njoku at tight end, Braxton, Stacy Coley. I was out there. Chris Herndon was a backup.
Herndon too. That's what I was gonna say.
Herndon was a backup. Think about that, and he was in the NFL for quite a minute. He was starting for the Jets for a little minute. Yep. So it's like we had the talent on both ends.
You could make a strong argument. I don't know that it's much of an argument. You had better skill position talent on that team than this team.
Yeah, no, we had guys for sure. So it was just like, but sometimes when you take that loss, like, you got to remember you have a team full of 105 guys or whatever it is.
And you guys hadn't really been there before either.
Yeah.
Like, you hadn't been in that position before.
Exactly. So when you get that heartbreaking loss, like, and you get slapped in the face, because we're ranked in 2016. We're above Florida State. We're ranked 10. They're like 23. They lost like 2 games. And we go out and get beat by them. Like, it hurt us to our core, and just the way we lost, that it's kind of like the next week we couldn't bounce back. Then the week after that, couldn't bounce back. And then, we went on like a 4-game losing streak. And then we eventually got it together, and we won 5 games, won a bowl game, and, ended the season the right way. But I guess what I'm saying is that, like, people are trying to, like, say that this team, like, they're just going to magically just take a loss and just all the whole team, 105 guys are all going to come with that same passion and belief. Like, that, it don't work like that. The quarterback, man, Castellanos, he probably will just get an idea of his personality. But what about the left guard? What does he think about the play calling? Or what about the defensive tackle? What about Daryl Jackson? You think he's going to be fired up for this game? Or I'm just saying, like, it's like those are the things I look at. So to answer the question, I think we're ready to almost put the nail in the coffin, for them. Kind of like similar what we did to the UF, how people said the same thing. Billy is against the wall. The team's going to come in a rivalry game on the road, and they have nothing to lose.
You effectively, and they're out of the ACC if they lose the second one. I would think.
Come on, you heard what Bain said. Y'all next. Y'all next. I'm telling you, y'all next.
I was one of those thinking that DJ Lagway was going to come out and throw for 300-something yards and play the game of his life, and the guy, couldn't get a first down. They got less yards than Bethune, so it shows you what I know. But
he could have. That's correct, and he could have. But it's like the possibility where, shit, hey, D Money, you could play the lottery right now, win 300 million. Like, you could, but you may lose too, right? You may just donate your money as well. So it's like there's always that possibility where a guy could go off crazy. You just hope it don't happen when you play him, or your game plan can not allow that to happen. So far we've been holding guys in check. Breakout star players haven't produced against us. Jeremiah Love, DJ Lagway, right? All these guys coming in, or even a USF quarterback. Like, we've helped these star guys, or the other team star guys. We kept them in check. So I expect the same thing this week. I think Castellanos is their star guy, and I think we keep him and make him do things he's uncomfortable with doing.
Yeah, it's like all the variables you talk about. The good thing about this team is there's not that many variables when you line up with tight splits and just run up the middle and get 5 yards pushing, or Ruben Bain goes through someone's chest. I mean, there's not a lot of guesswork with that. That kind of travels pretty good and is pretty consistent. But real quick, want to let you go. You've been awesome as always, man. The most requested, the most popular. You've talked about a little how you think it's going to go, but like overall prediction on this ball game.
Oh, man, true prediction. I think we win by probably 21, 22 points. Whew. I'm going to tell you why, though. See, I'm going to tell you why. I think offensively, I think we're going to have a little bit more attack. I think we're at the point where the offense is kind of hearing, I want to say the noise, but they're kind of feeling like, okay, we're the bad end of the team, right? The defense has been biting from game one. I think now is the game where you're on the road, hostile environment. What are you going to do? How are you going to respond? We just came off like a subpar game against Florida, right? Notre Dame, right? We left a lot on the field. Same thing, USF. I mean, USF was a good game, I guess, offensively, but I think now is a game where the offense wants to click, right? You kind of want to leave your mark on the season. So I anticipate us having a lot of success on the offensive side of things, and I think our defense is going to show up and, do what they do, which is get off the field on third downs, which we seen last game, get off the field on third downs and give our offense more opportunities. And I think with those opportunities, I think we'll capitalize a little bit more this week. That's my guess. So I think we won by 21, 22 points. If I had to guess, I'm saying what 30, I don't know, 33-13, something like that.
Love it, man.
I think
You're
they
the
scored
best.
like once and twice.
I'll take that all day. You're the man. Wish we had you on the field, but the next best thing is having you right here on the CanesInSight Daily Podcast. So, man, appreciate you. You're gonna go up. You're going up there.
I wish I want to, but I can't. Got some business to take care of. I thought about it, man, but I think I'm gonna enjoy this whipping from the home, man. I'm gonna enjoy it on TV. Maybe go to Hard Rock or something. Kick up, catch a drink or two, and enjoy the bloodbath it's about to be.
Oof, love it. Ahmad Richards, everybody. Every week we talking Canes. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys,
Later,
man.
Ahmad.
All righty.
There you go.